We can kill old sick people, but we're not allowed to kill criminals.
Yes.
Extremely violent mass murdering criminals, we can't kill them, but we can kill innocent babies in the womb.
Yeah.
And innocent dying people, we can kill them. We can't kill the guilty. We're going to kill you through kindness. We're going to allow you to abort your children, kill your children through kindness.
Yeah.
Everything is through kindness.
The assisted dying bill got passed.
We were wrong, weren't we?
Or did we? I can't remember.
We both said we don't think it'll get through.
Yeah. I mean, do you find it kind of sinister and scary, just the way it just happened?
Over a couple of weeks discussion, no one had ever given it any thought before. It's a shocking state of affairs, the way our country is falling, and we're falling fast now.
It is, yeah.
There's many things we can't get discussed in Parliament that we can't change in the country, but when it comes to killing each other and the state killing us, we can rush that through in a couple of weeks. Absolutely shocking.
I sent you a picture that one of my kids sent me, and it was an advert on the tube.
Yeah.
I sent you the picture, and your comment was actually quite funny. But I don't know if anybody's seen this, our listeners, but it's a picture of a young white woman. Young white woman, long blonde hair.
Nice looking white woman,
dancing.
Yeah.
Dancing. And what she's saying, the caption says, "My dying wish is that my family won't see me suffer." So the message here, before you came back with your rather tart comment, which I thought was hilarious, a young vibrant woman is talking about killing herself, basically, and that is now being advertised on the tube. So I think there's two things here. First of all, your comment when you saw it, and secondly, do you know who's behind these adverts and all this? I think you may do. I think my wife told me about it, but I'm interested if you know. But what was your first thought when you...
My comment, which I sent to you, which was one that jumped out at me straight away, we finally got a white person in an advert, and she's there advertising killing people.
Yes.
Because you couldn't put a black or brown person in that, because then you're advertising killing black or brown people. That makes you racist.
Yes.
But killing people, we need a white person doing that.
Yeah, so the message here is it's okay to kill white people, isn't it? It's okay for white people to die under the state, the state to kill white people, young white people, basically. That's the message, isn't it?
Every advert in London, in the underground, is black and brown people all the time.
Yeah.
But talking about killing people, put a white person on there.
So do you know about this organisation behind?
No, I don't. I know that Esther Ranson is in favour of it, and she is the face behind this, the public face. But I'm not sure of anything else.
I've not explored this fully, but my understanding is there's an organisation called Global around. I've not heard. I don't know. Maybe our listeners will have heard of it. And they are behind all these kind of sinister things, the assisted dying things, and all that kind of things as well. And the whole assisted dying thing, there's all sorts of creepy ideas around organ harvesting and other things like that, which are going on there as well. I think the comment that somebody made to me, which may have been one of my moles, was that, we, during COVID, which was one of the most biggest infringement of our civil liberties we've seen in decades, if not centuries. During COVID, the entire premise behind this, including all those grotesque adverts, was to stop Granny from dying, wasn't it? Now we've just passed a law to kill grannies, basically, haven't we? So the hypocrisy is quite staggering, isn't it?
Every dictator, every evil regime always tells the people we're doing this through kindness. That's what they did to us in COVID. And now they're taking a 180 and they're using the same line on assisted dying. It's through kindness. We're going to kill you through kindness. We're going to allow you to abort your children, kill your children through kindness.
Yeah.
Everything is through kindness. And anybody who tells you and uses that phrase has an alternative motive, because life's hard and life's always been hard, and we all struggle through life. It may be easier now than it was 200 years ago, but we compare it to the people around us. So life is still hard. But our government, again, not just this government, for decades now, just losing their way. How can we get to this stage where a government thinks its job is to help you kill yourself? If your life isn't good enough and you're suffering, well, you can kill yourself. Every religion condemns it because it's always been a problem with humans, about humans ending their own lives. So religions have wrote it into their scripture about how you're going to go to hell and things like that. But we're now allowing it to happen, and not just allowing it to happen, we're now giving the state the power to do it. That's a scary part for me. I don't want to see my mum suffer in the last 3 weeks alive, you know, slowly drowning in her own fluids and stuff like that. That's horrendous. I don't want to watch that. But I'll tell you what's even scarier, allowing the government to kill her.
To make that decision
Yeah,
for you.
because I'll tell you what, in a couple of years' time, they'd be killing her before 3 weeks. Or we think next year you could be that ill, we might as well kill you now.
I mean, how does it actually work, this, or how will it work?
From my reading of it, it's if you're in pain and the professionals think you're not going to last more than a couple of months, then you can opt for this.
Is it your choice, though?
That's what they're saying.
Right, okay. It is at the moment.
Yeah.
But in all these situations, we know it will spiral out of control.
Well, do you remember the stories of old people paying 19 grand to get a slate replaced on their roofs? You've heard those stories.
Yes.
It was their choice to pay for it.
Yes.
You can easily confuse and easily get older people who are losing it.
Yeah, that's a really good
to
example.
do what you want them to do.
You can.
Yeah, so look, we still prosecuted those rogue builders for taking 19 grand for replacing one tile.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between your son or daughter convincing, you know, their mum or dad that it's time to go?
And in fact, the builder would have an argument whether it was their choice. So that's the same as assisted dying, isn't it? But it goes further than that, doesn't it? Because we're obviously, I mean, there's obviously a scenario, and we know it's going to happen, don't we? Let's not pretend, as I guess a lot of these stupid MPs would, that this won't happen. There are, you know, people are obsessed with money in this world, consumed with money. And if you're a child of a parent that you don't particularly like, and they have a lot of assets, there will be, and it will happen, there will be a situation where they will be coerced, forced into taking their own lives so that their children can benefit.
There's a story in this country every year of children killing their parents.
Yeah.
For the money, the inheritance.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
And there's stories from other countries as well. It's already happening. All we're doing is making it easier, making the state do it.
Yeah. And apparently this year, so far, there have been 30,000 assisted dying deaths around the globe.
Right.
That's in places like Canada, Belgium. And it's a big number, that. It's a lot of people.
Well, it is because it's the Western world. It's nowhere else in the world.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's the Western countries.
And there are these cases that you and I have talked about. I think there was one in Belgium with a 22-year-old. There was another one in Canada, I think you mentioned, or Holland, I think it was, of young people opting for this based on mental. So at the moment, ours isn't about mental pressure. It's to do with terminal illness, I think. But it will become that.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
Because once you broke the seal on this, other pressure groups will pop up. Why can we terminate the life of someone who's slowly dying in pain? But I'm in pain all the time.
Yeah.
And my pain's going to last another 50 years. Why can't I opt for that?
Yeah.
Well, I can see all the arguments coming through now. It's only up to 3 months. Let's say it's 3 months of assisted dying. Well, why is it 3 months? The doctor said it's going to be 3.5 months for me. Why do I have to wait another 2 weeks in pain before I can have assisted dying? It's 6 months for me. Why do I have to wait for 3 months living in agony? It'll be creep.
Yeah. This lady, Kim Ledbetter, who's the woman who proposed it all, she's the sister of the woman who died, isn't she, I think?
During the Brexit referendum. Her sister was an MP, Jo
Cox.
Yeah.
Jo Cox.
Yeah. Yeah, so she stood in for her, and on sympathy, she won the seat. And in her area is the Buckley Grammar School.
She's done nothing about that.
She'd never even mentioned the teacher who's still in hiding now.
Yeah.
She'd like to euthanize him. She'll get a bit more Muslim votes in the area if they euthanize him.
Tim Stanley in the Telegraph said something which I think was quite poignant after this was passed. He said, "We are not the same country we were yesterday," which I think is what you're basically thinking.
We're not. And there's an argument to be made here that we can kill unborn babies in the womb, we can kill old sick people, but we're not allowed to kill criminals.
Yes.
Extremely violent mass murdering criminals, we can't kill them, but we can kill innocent babies in the womb.
Yeah.
And innocent dying people, we can kill them. We can't kill the guilty. If they'd have brought this in at the same time, capital punishment again, I may have had a different opinion. But they just completely make the wrong choices. They're given two choices and they always pick the one I thought they would never pick.
I know, I was shocked the way it happened. I really was. It just seemed to just happen, didn't it? Laura Perrins, who's on Twitter, said, in 5 years, the most efficient department in the NHS will be the assisted dying one.
Yeah.
And of course it will be, because that's easy. It doesn't require any particular skills.
Well, they will attract the most incompetent nurses and doctors.
Oh, yes.
Because we can't sack them. Let's send that department, because they'll kill him even quicker. And there can be no suing us either.
Yeah. So when you go to the NHS in 5 years' time, when you go to the geriatric ward and it's full of little old ladies who are getting ready to get their treatment, there'll be a new ward, won't there, assisted, full of little old ladies as well, queuing up to be killed.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be. I mean, it's just horrific when you think about it, isn't it?
It is, but it doesn't surprise me because of how over the last 50, 60 years we've been treating old people in this country. We abandon them. We abandon our parents and grandparents.
Yeah.
We hand them over to the state.
Yeah.
We let immigrants look after them, clean their bums and feed them. We leave them alone in their houses. We've been treating them appallingly all my life.
Yeah.
This is just the next stage. So really,
it's the final step.
It's the final step. I to a certain extent, I don't blame the government, because I would imagine a lot of the population are quite happy with this.
Well, clearly they are, because the majority of the MPs voted for it. Yeah. And I think when they've done polls, it is generally 50-50. Yeah. So I think you and I are unusual in that we just think this is bizarre and inhumane and horrible. I think a lot of people don't. And there may be pecuniary reasons for that, because they think, well, I can get the old ears shuffled off soon and get my money. It's
a simple solution to a complicated problem, which is, how do I look after my elderly parents? Yeah. They're really eating into my time. I don't want them living with me. Or if I do, I know somebody who had one of their parents live with them, lasted weeks. She then shipped them off to a home because, I can't do this. And we keep rejecting our personal responsibility, and we reject our family responsibility. We're not a family-orientated society anymore now. And that's one thing we can learn off immigrants.
Yes.
Because immigrants still are.
Yeah.
They still have
perhaps too close
intergenerational families. Yeah. They still have grandparents living with them, looking after them. Yeah. And that's how we used to be.
That's how they're enriching our community.
Well, that's how we used to be. There's something we can relearn off the migrant population.